Sometimes all it takes is a stroke of good luck to change your life. For Alese and Morton Pechter, it was the front crawl in an otherwise empty hotel Olympic-sized pool, and Mort's inability to follow a straight line that brought these two individuals together, creating a cohesive powerhouse couple who brought the beauty and wonder of the underwater world into homes and classrooms around the world. Well known throughout the dive industry as DEMA's official photographers, Alese and Mort didn't start taking underwater photos until their 4 sons were in college. Once the kids were grown and gone, Alese and Mort decided they needed some much-deserved rest and relaxation, which they found by snorkeling. What they saw underwater captured their imaginations. They wanted to bring images of what they saw home, so they bought an inexpensive little camera and put it into a plastic bag, and they got some great shots. While their youngest son was in college, he went to a lecture by Jean-Michel Cousteau and fell in love with the underwater world. He wanted to spend his summer working with Jean-Michel Cousteau's Project Ocean Search, but had to be a certified diver. As 3 were needed for the class, he convinced Alese and Mort to take the class with him. They did their dive certification dives in the cold, dark, murky waters off Long Island Sound and swore they'd never dive again. It wasn't until they tried diving in the warm, clear waters of the Caribbean that they became hooked on diving, and their lives changed. From that point on, the rest, as they say, is history. Alese and Mort bought more cameras, took more pictures, and began contributing articles and photos to various magazines. Scuba became the central focus in their lives. People began to take notice. Visitors to their home would marvel at their underwater photos. This was early days in the scuba industry, and underwater images were nowhere near as common as they are today. People were literally seeing underwater life for the first time in their lives. Alese and Mort were asked to exhibit their photos and lecture on underwater photography at a local college. The New York Times art critic saw the exhibit and wrote a rave review. Alese and Mort now had a new career. They received requests for images and articles from local, national, and international publications. Passionate ambassadors, they took every possible opportunity to introduce the wonders of the underwater world to enthusiastic audiences through mainstream media. The Pechters were pioneers in ocean conservation, using their talents as writers and photographers to entertain, while teaching people about the wonders of the underwater world and the need to protect them. They traveled the globe to shoot exotic dive destinations. They became involved in historical wreck diving and the search for underwater archaeological treasure with the likes of Mel and Taffy Fisher, Mo Molinar, and Roy Volker. They worked with police search and rescue teams, Bob Ballard and the Jason Project, and photographed and wrote about Commander Francis Fain, considered the founder of the U.S. Navy SEALs. They photographed and wrote about everything from kids' sea camps and experimental diving equipment to marine research. If it had anything to do with the underwater world, Alese and Mort were there to document it, often working with some of the industry's most well-known pioneers. They did many TV interviews, from Good Morning America to 2020 and The Today Show, all to bring awareness of diving in the underwater world to people who might never get the chance to see it for themselves. Their efforts to bring diving to the masses were critical in changing the perception at the time of diving as a macho, male-oriented sport. Through their words and images, Alese and Mort showed the world diving could be a fun, fantastic sport in which the whole family could take part. They would often say that everyone was a winner in diving because everyone has the chance to experience the same exciting challenges. Alese and Mort also spent thousands of hours reaching out and teaching others, particularly children, about the underwater world. Their children's book, What's in the Deep, was one of the first ocean-oriented books to use actual photographs of ocean life instead of cartoon-like drawings to show children the world beneath the waves. The book received public and critical acclaim and became a science text in libraries and classrooms throughout the U.S. Alese and Mort Your work brought diving and aquatic life and conservation into the homes and hearts of people around the world, inspiring future generations to love and care for our underwater world. You took what many considered a solo, male-only sport and showed the true meaning of the buddy system. Your library of underwater images is an important history of some of the best dive sites in the world, many taken when these sites were considered pristine, and is an incredible resource for divers and marine researchers worldwide. Over the years, you have instilled in others the same enthusiasm and excitement for life's wonders, both under and above water, that you have in spades. Congratulations, Alese and Morton Pechter, on your Reaching Out Award. For years you have reached out, recorded your adventures, and educated a public hungry for information and adventure. Thank you for your tireless efforts to bring the sport we love into people's homes, for making diving more accessible, and for inspiring future generations. You may have come to diving later in life, but you have more than made up for lost time.